Welcome students for today's session, controlling. So this is one of the important topic in principles of management. So once we are properly implementing this controlling process only, the particular process will be giving a proper or expected outcome. Or otherwise, whatever we are getting an output may not be equal to the standardized value. So in that aspect, if you see, the controlling is very important in principles of management. So first we will see nature and purpose of control. So controlling is directly related to planning, and control process ensures that plans are being implemented properly, and this control will move us to the further advancement, and control is an important function of management. And this control verify our plan is executed properly, or what are the instructions which is issued are executed properly, and what are the principles established are executed properly. So these are the things are done through the controller or whatever the control process we are doing it. So these are the nature and purpose of control. So next we will see the characteristics of control. So when you are saying a characteristics of control, we will see the different characteristics. It is a pervasive function, review of past events, action oriented, and it is a continuous process. It is a dynamic process. Due to above all the process, you will be having a next step ahead. That is, you will be looking forward for the next higher level. So you have to plan the thing properly. That is the first step. Next step, if any deviation in the plan or if you see the outcome is not as expected, we will see the previous history, and according to the previous history you will modify the present plan and you will try to execute it. So this action is supposed to be a continuous one. That is why it is called as an action oriented, and this action should be a continuous one and it should be dynamic one. So whenever it is required any change, you have to dynamically do it. So then only you can able to get your outcome as expected or equal to your standardized value. So if you complete this, then we will look for the further improvement. So these are the some of the characteristics of your control. Next, purpose of control. So when you are seeing a purpose of control, you will be considering a purpose of control as a 5 purpose. So one is adapt to environment change. According to the environment change, you have to go for a control action. Next one, you have to check whether you are having any error or not. Then you have to see to that this control action will help the organization to improve further, and any complication in execution that can be easily done through this control, then it will finally reduce our running cost or working cost. So these are the aspects you have to consider while doing a control. So this is the main purpose of planning our control. The next one is level of control. So here you are having 4 levels of control. The first one is an operation control. Under the operational control, so we are making whatever the resources we are having, so that resources are transformed into products or services. Then second level of control is a financial control. So according to that process, you will be doing a finance, whatever the source of finance you have to provide for that, you will be providing it. Next, you will be having a structural control. So if you are saying an organization, you will be having different structures. So for each structure, you have to go for a different planning. Accordingly, you will go for a control. Then the last level of control is a strategic control. So strategic control will finally attain an organizational goal. If you do above 3 properly, finally you can attain the organizational goals. Any need for correction is required or not, you have to see to that. So under that correction, so whether you have to change the standard itself, you have to see to that. Next one, you have to see to that any deviation corrections you have to make it, or otherwise the changes are very little or within the tolerance level, you can able to adjust with that, you have to see to that. So these are the different process of control, or different steps in processing of your control. So next we will see what is a requirement of effective control. So why it is required? When you want to have an effective control on any process, so what is a requirement? The first one is it should be an objective, and this control process should be a flexible one, and this control process lead to corrective action, and whatever the control process you are doing it, it's supposed to be an economical one. So these are the different steps in your effectiveness of your control. So next we will go to that, what are the different types of control. So when you are saying a different types of control, we will be having a 3 types of control. One is a feed forward control, other one is a concurrent control, third one is a feedback control. So when you are saying a feed forward control, so we will be anticipating any problem comes if you execute this. So what is a problem it may occur, or what is a deviation you may be getting it. So that anticipation you have to have, so that is given as an input to any process. The next control is concurrent control. So once the process is going on, you will be having some of the issues. Okay, so that issue you have to solve it. So this is done during a process. And third control is called as a feedback control. So after getting an output, you have to compare your output with an expected value or your standards. If you are having any deviation, then you have to see to that what type of corrections you have to make. So that is called as a feedback control. So these are the different 3 types of control at different stages of your process you are implementing it. Okay, so these are the some of the control process we are doing it in our management side. So with this we will stop our discussion, and we will see the remaining in the next session.